everybody, and we are here again for a new episode of the Figure Out English podcast for English learners. The transcript will be available as usual on figureoutenglish.com, as well as the learning notes and practice exercises. And let's start!
Today I would like to talk a little bit about prepositions. We are generally afraid of prepositions. Let's go through them step by step. Let's help you with them. I will be talking today about prepositions of movement. When we go somewhere, when we fly somewhere, when we move, so go to live in a new place. After all these verbs, you're supposed to use the preposition to. You never say I go in. For example, tomorrow I'm going in Prague. No, it's not possible. You can say go into. You can go into the room, you can come into the house, and so on. It means that you are moving inside of something. You are going into the building. But when you want to say about moving in some direction, I'm going to this building. I see that building a little bit at the distance and I want to get close to it. For example, you go to school, you go to work, you go to the shop, you go to the supermarket, and so on and so on. The normal preposition which you use after the verbs of movement, fly, jump, run, come, go, and so on, they are all used with to. The only object which is an exception here, it is home. When you talk about going home, you don't use prepositions of movement. So you say, I am going home, I've just come home, and so on and so on. The only preposition you can use with home, it is at. I am at home right now. In all other cases, you will not use any preposition. You are going to the shop, but you're going home. And it will be true for all the verbs of movement. But there is a little exception to that. We have this tricky verb arrive. And after arrive, you never use the preposition to. It has its own prepositions, and there are two of them. So there are two different cases of talking about arriving somewhere. The rule is actually very simple. When you talk about arriving in a country or in a city, you use in. For example, the train arrived in Prague. We have successfully arrived in England. He arrived in the United States a month ago, for example. When you use the word home, you just say arrive home. Okay? When did you arrive home? No preposition at all. For countries and cities only, you use in. For all other places, you use at. For example, you will say, the train arrived at the station. I arrived at the office, and so on and so on. Please remember that this verb is an exception, the only verb of movement, and it only uses in when you talk about the countries and cities, and it uses at with all other places. And this is all true except for the word home, which never takes any prepositions of movements before itself. So you will say go home, get home, arrive home, and so on.
Thanks for listening. Please visit figureoutenglish.com for a free download of the transcript and learning notes. Don't forget to share and comment. Cheers!